Man, this sure does seem different. I'm back at the scene of the crime. I'm on the street I was walking down last episode when I was just walking through the night. I'm at the point where I saw the ocean. And I was like, oh, I can see the water from here. Now it's like 3 p.m, so I can obviously see the ocean now too. But yeah, it's just sort of blue. There's a bit of cloud cover that's gone over, which is nice because it was crazy hot earlier today. So this is a little better. It's a little bit of construction going on. This street seems a lot smaller in the daytime. And there's an occasional burst of traffic, but like even right now, it's pretty empty. And here's the little lane. All right, so yeah, someone with a backhoe right across from here. Definitely a different vibe. Yeah, like I'm just walking right past where I peed the other day, a couple days ago, in those bushes. So yeah, what happened is last episode, I got stranded because I didn't know the buses stopped so early on Seogwipo specifically. I mean, it's probably all the buses, but the 201 that goes around the outside edge, it kicks you out around 10 o'clock. And what really fucked me is I thought like, yeah, well, you know, I'm on the bus, that's okay. Might be one of the last buses, but I made it. But there's a split point midway at Seonsan, the big cool caldera, whatever they call it, the sunrise rock or whatever. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh my God, I'm being hoisted on my own petard right now. So anyway, I was walking along and I stopped up there, as I said, to take a pee, and I saw this little lane and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. It's all quiet and dark, and it was like the middle of the night at that point. It's like at least 2 a.m. But there were little lights on this lane going down by this dry riverbed in these like little quaint houses, and I walked along it for a while till the lights finally stopped, and there was this big field, and it was just pitch black, and I was like, well, I can't go any further. On the map, it seems like I could keep going and I'd get to a highway eventually, but it was just, yeah, like completely dark. But I thought like, man, this is so cool. This is so nice. I got to come back here in the daytime. I got to give this a shot. And then because I was up all night that night, trying to sleep on a stone bench by the beach, and then finally a cab came and got me home as the sun was coming up. So yeah, my next day I didn't feel too good. I was pretty fucked. And today I still feel kind of fucked. Not from the actual physical exertion. It was just because it fucked up my sleep schedule so bad. I haven't had a good solid sleep since then. So it's like it's even hard to tell exactly. I mean, obviously I haven't had enough sleep, but it's hard to even add it up because I'm like, I don't know, I was awake and asleep for the last couple days. But whatever. I was like, all right, let's go do that today. But what I'm seeing now, now that it's daytime, is I've done a considerable amount of complaining about the Olle trail. That when the Olle trail takes you away from the coast, I'm just like, fuck that. That's fucking annoying. I don't want to go down any of that stuff. And then I found this, at the nighttime, and I was saying like, wow, this is so cool. I found this magical place completely by accident. Like if I hadn't missed the bus, and if I hadn't decided to walk to the next city center, which was a terrible plan, and if I hadn't stopped just at that point to take a pee, I never would have saw this place. I remember rambling last time about like, yeah, this will be like one of my places that's important to me. Just because I found it, has relevance to me alone. But now that I'm back here in the day, guess what? Guess what's here? The fucking trail markers for the Olle trail. The Olle trail sends you down this way. It wasn't just me who's like, oh, that's a beautiful little place. Everybody knows it's a beautiful little place. The Olle trail sends you down this fucking route. I can't believe it. I mean, I'm still glad I'm here and glad to be doing this. But yeah, there's the trail markers. This is not a discovery at all. I didn't discover shit. Every single person who walks the Olle trail walks this way. Everybody. Fuck. A lady just went by in a truck and gave me a nice nod. So I mean, I guess that's an upside. They're used to random people walking through their neighborhood because it's part of the trail. But yeah, my special little guy, my special little place that's just for me. It's not special at all. It's part of the thing. It's part of the prescribed journey. I really didn't expect that. That surprised me. But hey, whatever, dude. That makes no difference. If anything, I should be happy. I should be happy that it's not just a random little strange discovery. Everybody gets to do this shit. Yeah, and even here we go. Here's the point where the final streetlight was. I was like, is the Olle Trail going to send me off somewhere else? Nope. It just says keep going ahead. This is what we're doing. But I guess any concern I had about just walking into the wild blue yonder, which again wasn't a big concern, it's early enough in the day, I'm sure it would all work out fine. But yeah, there's none of that. This is part of the trail. That's just pretty, that's pretty surprising. I did not expect that at all. But yeah, I'm really glad that the weather's not as terrible. It seemed so hot today, and I actually lost my umbrella on that overnight walk. I know where it happened too. It's when I found the convenience store finally, and I bought a bunch of orange juice and popsicles. I had my own little plastic bag just so I, reuse my bags instead of getting a new one each time, but it was in the same zippered pocket as my umbrella, and I guess I forgot to zipper it back up. Because when I got home, my umbrella was gone, so by the time I was hoboing it up by the beach, it's probably where it literally fell out. But I took a side trip to Daiso today to get an umbrella, because I was thinking, even though using an umbrella to shade myself from the sun hasn't worked so far because by the seaside it's just way too windy, I was thinking today might be the day. I didn't want to come out here without an umbrella because, if I'm just walking down a country lane, it's not nearly as windy and it might save me from the sun. But yeah, right now it's actually not that bad. Nice haze in front of the sun. I'll take it. All right, now here we go. Here's the little moment of reckoning. So there is a little bridge that I didn't cross yesterday. The Olle Trail's telling me to cross the bridge. I guess I'll just see where it tells me to go from here. Because I kind of had my mind set on just going further into these fields. So if the Olle Trail's looping me back, maybe this is the time. But yeah, okay, the Olle Trail though, it's taken me, because obviously it's got to eventually keep a person circling around. So okay, I'm not going to follow the Olle Trail. I'm going to just keep heading on forward and just see what happens. Because I want to see this field. Because yeah, man, I really walked quite a ways in the dark the other day. Like a total fucking weirdo. I want to see what this shit looks like in the daytime. And I mean, it's just like a little paved road. It's a little one-lane road. I don't think it's that weird if I just keep walking along this. Yeah, I remember the other day, this seemed so crazily flat that I couldn't see any mountains in the distance. But now that it's clearer out, I can see a smaller one off to my right. And way in the distance, just directly ahead of me, that must be Halasan. It's fucking huge. But yeah, in the dark, I couldn't see any of this shit. And then I guess those houses I saw, but there's a bunch of greenhouses in between me and the houses in the distance that I just couldn't see at all. Anyway, let me tell you, for anyone who's curious, where I actually am. The bus stop is called Sinpung-ri Hadong, SINPUNG-RI space HADONG. And then I just went a teeny bit north of there, hung a left, went west. And now I'm just walking down a country road. So yeah, I guess I've split off from the Olle Trail, but I guess that's always an option. I could just go hook up to that. If I get all lost, I don't know what's going on. But I'm just going to keep walking forward, just keep walking west. See, I'm pretty sure, I suspect this is going to be it. Just fields and greenhouses and farm stuff. But that's fine. That's what I signed up for, as a little butterfly flying by. Just wanted to see this in the day. And here I am. Yeah, while I was at Daiso, I picked up a bunch of snacks and a pair of socks. Grab a pair of socks every time I go. But all right, I'm just gonna walk and eat some Daiso snacks. Well, I guess it's the Olle Trail to the rescue. Yeah, definitely just, I mean, this is all right. It's not bad. But I think the theme of today, the feeling I'm feeling, is, yeah, like as shitty as it was to get stranded in the middle of the night and to have to go through these weird, bizarre circumstances, part of what made it so difficult was just how weird it feels. It's like you're in a different world. You're in the dark world now. Everything is dark. There's hardly any people around. Normal services just aren't happening. Buses are done. Even just like convenience stores, many of them are closed. Everything is just eerie and creepy. And that night in particular, it was like super hot still, but it was misty. And it was just like, it's like a dream in a weird way. It's like, this is fucked up. But one of those things in hindsight, you know, very beautiful, memorable night. But yeah, like I was saying up by the road, I'm like, well, this doesn't look the same. And now that I'm out here at this this farm, this also doesn't look the same, because in the dark, it felt infinite. You know, I was staring up at the stars and looking out across this field and not even being able to see mountains. Everything just seemed like infinite in the distance. And I was just like, whoa, what is going on? But it was just because I couldn't make out the edges of anything, you know? Everything was in the dark. Where now that I'm here in the day, it's like, yeah, it's, you know, it's a farm. It's all right. But instead of feeling open and wide, it feels very enclosed and just these little tiny narrow roads and just, I mean, it's a real packed in farm. There's tons of farm stuff going on here. But I was like, yeah, well, that's fine though. You know, this was the adventure I picked for today. Let's just keep walking. But it being a farm, it is a for real farm. It just started to smell like fertilizer, you know, like manure, like really quite strongly. And oh, little Keith, oh, you don't like poop smell? Like, no, sorry, I don't. But I was like, well, you know, I'll just keep walking. We'll get past this. And I just kept walking and walking and walking, and it didn't stop. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a farm. There's no guarantee it's gonna stop. You know, I think that's just how farms are supposed to smell. And yeah, a lot of farms, you know, in North America are big and wide open, but this one, it really is like packed in. Like there's a lot of space around me. It's this huge farm and it goes on till that highway. But within this space, it is still very packed in. Every little bit is used for something. And it feels pretty similar to the other day when I decided the Olle Trail wasn't necessarily for me. A lot of that was not as distinctly farmland as this, but farm-ish, you know? And this doesn't feel that different. And yeah, it's not only is it not like striking, visually striking, it's kind of hard to see anything because it's so packed in, and I'm just kind of either behind greenhouses or behind a big hedge, behind a tree line. That sense of a big, long field in the dark, in the daytime, nothing is like that. It doesn't look like that at all. It's all very packed in. It's like in an old video game when they would try to simulate being outside, but they couldn't make levels that big yet. So they had to make, you know, just like a small corridor that connects to another corridor. And they would dress it up to look like the outside. But the reality of it was no different than walking through a corridor of a building. Just instead of walls, it's like trees or, you know, the edge of this dry riverbed or a rock wall or whatever. That's how this feels, just walking through a very narrow thing. And again, I was thinking like, yeah, that's fine, I'll just do that. But the manure smell is really strong. I was like, yeah, you know what? All right, I'm not walking through that. It would be completely my fault where there's an Olle Trail set up. I'm the one who just made up this plan. It's already clear that this is not what I kind of was hoping it would be, or that the nighttime magic is just, you know, it's daytime now. It's the light world. It's not like that anymore. for me to deliberately walk for hours and hours, potentially a couple hours through manure-smelling farmland, like why? Why the fuck would I do that? So instead, I've backtracked and here we are. Luckily, I didn't get lost. I actually found my way back to the Olle Trail. There's the little ribbon. So yeah, I'm just gonna follow the Olle Trail and then it'll eventually bring me back to the shoreline. And that'll probably be it for today. I'll probably just go the fuck home. So yeah, let's just, it was an attempt at an adventure. Not everything always works out all the time. I think this will be like the little beginning, the abandoned mini adventure. And then we'll just pick up on a future day when I get back to the actual circumnavigation. Because I'm gonna go back to the mountain that had the Japanese war caves and take the alternate route that goes up to the peak instead. Man, I was just like looking around on, because I didn't actually take any pictures of those caves, but I thought maybe I could just nab some from Google Images or whatever. And no such luck. If you look for, like, there's just very little information about them. And even if you like go zoom in on Google Maps, they're really not there. There's very scant references to those caves being there at all. So those were kind of a legitimate find. That is quite a neat thing. That seems like it'd be real easy to miss. And again, in that case, I think I got kind of lucky. It was just because there were people milling around near, because there's just this little pathway, just this little path in the woods. It's just that people were milling around there next to a map. And I stopped to exchange illiterate pleasantries, and then I saw the little opening and I was like, cool, I'm gonna go through here, see you later. I really could have missed them easy. But this particular adventure, hey, look at that, solar panels. That's a good idea. This particular adventure, it was the magic of the circumstances, those weird circumstances of being here in the middle of the night, and it's all misty and dark, but still warm out. Because that still blows my mind. That just doesn't happen in Canada. It can't be warm when it's dark out. It's impossible. It doesn't happen. So it all felt like a cool dream. But in the daytime, it's just a farm. Pretty good farm, but not something that I should go out of my way to spend many hours trudging through the heat to experience. I'm experiencing it plenty. That's the feeling I get too. As I go deeper in, I don't think who can say for sure, but I don't think it's gonna change. I think it's just gonna be more farm. So there we go. There was that attempt at an adventure. And there's the little Olle trail marker ahead of me. So yeah, I'm just gonna follow that. I apologize, Olle Trail. I apologize for talking shit. Talk shit, get shot. You're still here for me, even after I disparaged you. The Olle Trail doesn't hold a grudge. The Olle Trail, it's there for you. All right, I'm obviously rambling at this point, so let's stop. All right, I took a little stroll along the Olle Trail for a while, and it's not bad. I'm on some weird back streets and stuff. I think it would be a lot better in the winter. I could see that being a way better time to do these kind of protracted rambles, because this time of year, as I said before, it's like, man, imagine if I was by the shore right now. It'd be all breezy. In the heat of summer, that's way better. But it was all right. It was kind of cool just walking around some random places, and I found one of those stamp books, which I thought was kind of funny. Like, I guess I've found a couple here and there, but I wonder how many of them are tucked away in obscure side streets. Because, I can't even imagine that somebody would try to sneakily go get all the stamps without actually doing the trail. That would just be sad. But it seems like you'd have a hard time doing that because you couldn't just sneakily go to all the stops because they're in weird places. Man, I'm seeing this side street that goes down along a dry riverbed again, and it looks real pretty, but I'm looking on my map and it's like, I don't think so, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that doesn't seem takes me too far away from where I'm going. But yeah, also in classic fashion, playing all the hits today, I lost track of the Jeju Trail. Like I was just thinking like, it's nice to not have to care where I am or where I'm going. I'll just follow where the trail says. This is kind of fun. And then of course I get to a point, because that's the thing with losing track of the trail. You obviously are not aware that you lost track of the trail. It's sometime later that it's like, all right, I'm at an intersection. Which way do I go, trail? Oh, you're not here anymore? Oh shit, how far back did this happen? Like, I'm not quite sure how I lose track of the trail. But I do. So then it's like, all right, well, I'll just loop around. Basically, I'm heading back to the same stop that I got off at, just in a big loop, just going around. So this isn't so different from what I was planning to do today anyway. Just a little more normal roads. And there are some, quite a few bus stops here. But without a data plan, I don't know, it's a little tricky. Like I'm seeing these bus stops, but I have not really seen any buses. And there was like another bus that I guess would take me back to Seogwipo, but it didn't have the fancy LCD screen saying when the next bus comes. It's just got the printout. And it would be a bit of a wait. And like I said, I haven't seen any buses go by yet. I think with these little weave their way around regionally type buses, I think you really got to kind of know what to catch in when. And I'm not really that far from where I started at this point. So it's like, yeah, I could just stand here and hope a bus comes. But if I just keep walking for a solid 40, 45 minutes, I think I'll be good. I think that'll get me pretty much where I'm going. So I'd rather not, because what if I just stand there for 45 minutes and nothing happens? You know, just walk. And the other classic problem is just the lack of washrooms. Being on this kind of trail, like the more in the city trail, there are more convenience stores, still not a ton, but some once in a while. And that's one thing that hadn't really occurred to me yet. Another one of the differences between Korea and Japanese convenience stores is there's no washrooms in the Korean convenience stores. Seeing a convenience store pop up in Japan, it'd be like, oh great, there's a high chance, probably a 19 out of 20 chance that I can go to the washroom there. In Korea, it's a 0% chance. It never happens. So it's like, dang, I have passed a few little cafes. I still haven't pulled the trigger on that one. But that seems like that would be, if I really was desperate, like, oh no, I'm going to poop myself, then I could go into one of these places and buy a latte. But yeah, ultimately, just a little walk around. Just a little walk around. Yeah, I guess the washroom thing, it's tricky because, I've started my regiment now of not eating before I go out on one of these trips. So I ate a couple little granola bars I got at Daiso, and that's it. It's also just the drinking part is I got a bunch of liquids to hydrate myself with the sun beating down on me, but I'm just a little concerned about doing it because no washrooms anywhere. And then at the end of this little mosey is still a long-ass bus ride back home. I'm afraid I just can't afford to hydrate, I'm in some kind of like somewhat ruralish. Like I think if I was desperate, I could probably find a bush to pee in or something. But if I wasn't a man, I absolutely could not. And even as a man, I don't know. I think I'd way rather not. I'm a little too close to civilization, a little too close to people and houses and stuff. I don't want to be the guy peeing on Korea. So yeah, that remains definitely an overall issue, I guess, when you walk 200 kilometers around an entire fucking island, is you can't always find a place to comfortably pee. Or in this case, you often can't. Either there's like a nice... Oh, there goes the bus. Little tiny bus. 722-1. So, yeah, I guess there was a bus coming, but yeah, I mean, I would have been standing there this whole time. I hate standing still, especially in the heat. That's fine, I'm halfway there already. But yeah, either there's a nice touristy beach and there's washrooms everywhere, or there's nary a washroom to be found. No middle ground. Very rare to find just a random, out of nowhere washroom. Which again is another reason why good old Japan has such a warm place in my heart. It might be the only country that does that, but it does. It's just like, oh, well, what do you know? A washroom. You know, it is weird slowly like learning more and more about these cultures. There's like all this terrible stuff Japan did. Some of the germ warfare stuff they were doing in World War II was horrifying. And then all the terrible stuff they did to Korea. But then I'm learning about all the terrible stuff Korea did to the people of Jeju. And it's like, man, shit sure does run downhill. Every culture has their terrible underbelly. But why am I bringing this up? Only just to say, but hey, at least some of them have washrooms all over the place. What a terrible point. What a terrible take. So let's just fucking, let's cut it out. Let's cut it out for today. We're done. All right. Let's fade out and fade back in on another day on a different adventure. All right, day off in between. I got a new adventure planned for tomorrow, but today's a nice laundry day off. And while I'm waiting for my laundry, down the street from the laundromat is one of those little machines where you spend 50 cents, if not 40 cents, if not 30 cents, some of them are on this island, to get a little tiny coffee. This one is the full 50 cents, but it's like fancy. It's a fancy mocha. Little tiny. I wonder how many fluid ounces this is. It's a little tiny cup and it's only half full because in the winter it needs space for ice. But I love these so fucking much. It's so perfect. You know, they're a lot more prominent in the cities that have subways because they're in every subway station. They're a little more rare here on Jeju, but they're still around. And yeah, like this is a perfect example of like, I'm just doing laundry. I'm going to be here for almost an hour probably. I don't want a huge coffee. There's no washroom here, so I mean just a little coffee. You get a little taste of coffee and there's no worries that it's going to run straight through me because it's so tiny. I love it. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is down by where the machine is, there's always these dudes just hanging out and smoking and chatting and whatever. And after my experience getting stranded halfway across the island the other day, now I'm a little more, I'm sizing things up a little different. I'm like, who are these lads? What's going on? And they are what I suspected they might be, taxi drivers. As there's like 6 cabs all lined up there and they're just hanging out while they're waiting for calls. And I was like, sweet, like put that away in the mental Rolodex. If I ever need a taxi in Seogwipo, this is where they hang out. This is where I come to get a taxi. Of course, it's also around the corner from my hotel. So that's no use. That's zero use. If I'm here, I'm already home. But who knows, man? Maybe someday in the future. What if I come back to visit the island sometime and I'm in Jeju City, say? Or just some random place, I don't know, and I get stranded here in Seogwipo. Now I know where to go. Of course, maybe at 2 a.m. this doesn't work, but I got a good lead, a good chance that there will be taxi cabs in this one area. I don't know, I'm just glad that I found it. All right, I have a little sip of coffee. Oh, that's the stuff. I fucking love this shit. If I had to, I mean, there's been a lot of cool stuff about South Korea. Obviously, I've had a lot of ups and downs here. It's a little less glowing than Japan, but it's absolutely going to be a place. Once I'm not here anymore, I'm going to miss it. Even just this fucking hotel in Seogwipo. Just this morning, I was like, I'm going to miss this. This is a fucking sweet little place. But if I had to pick my Family Feud #1 answer, top thing, because I'm just such a fucking shallow moron, top thing that I'm going to miss, is it going to be the beautiful coastlines? Is it going to be the amazing mountains? I mean, I'll miss all that stuff, but it's the 50-cent coffee. I fucking love this. This is designed for me. This is the perfect tiny coffee that if I could implant this into North America, I damn sure would. All right, laundry update. Now let's fade out and fade back in tomorrow. Alright, I'm on a different bus today, and I feel like I can pretty comfortably talk to myself on the bus because it's pretty empty. The whole back half of the bus is just me. So I had my mind set a little bit on trying to get to Jeju City. Instead of going around the outside of the island, I wanted to try to get straight here, mainly because I finally emailed a dentist and I still haven't heard back. It might be similar to Busan, I don't know. Maybe emailing a dentist is not enough around here. Or maybe I just gotta wait longer, I don't know. But I was putting it off initially because I got sick as soon as I got to Jeju, and then I was putting it off just because... Oh, that's not good. Has the bus been making that noise the whole time? I've had headphones in. I was listening to Jazz Emu albums. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Just I was putting off the dentist because as long as I'm careful with my tooth, it doesn't actively hurt. And, it's apprehension. Going to the dentist feels bad, so I just kept putting it off. But I'm like, okay, I got a month left here on Jeju. I can't put it off anymore. I need to get in touch with the dentist. I gotta stop being a dickhead about this. So I emailed the dentist, but now I'm just waiting. And it's like, if this doesn't work, then what do I do? How do I don't know. I don't know how the dentist stuff is supposed to work. But anyway, the point is I want to try to get to Jeju just to know how to get here in case I get a sudden dentist appointment. I don't want to have to be learning buses at that point. But yeah, there's a weird noise in this bus that I shouldn't be talking on the bus anyway. What the fuck? This is dumb. So let's reconvene when I get to Jeju City. Alright, I made it to Jeju City. I've only been here, I guess, briefly once when I got just left the airport and went straight through on a bus. But right away, it's got more of that kind of more fully fledged city vibe because I'm seeing a Holly's Coffee. I've never gone to a Holly's Coffee, but I've seen them all over Seoul and Busan and, all over the place. So it's like, oh, there's one. There's one of those. So yeah, not only did I want to take a test run here, just in case I should hear back from a dentist, just to make sure I know how to get here. But also, I've gotten so far around the loop of going around Seogwipo that with a little bit of nudging, Google Maps and Naver Maps both started suggesting me alternate routes that, like, hey, it wouldn't be crazy to go up to Jeju City first and then head east. Oh, there's a twosome place. A twosome place was the first chain that I ever started going to around these parts in Korea, though it was a little bit expensive and didn't have the amazing touchscreen technology. And there's a KFC. So, geez, and McDonald's, yeah, everything is here. I'm pretty close to City Hall, so I guess that makes sense. I got off a stop before then. But City Hall's technically the stop I'm looking for. But yeah, the one thing it mentioned, it was the 800 bus, and this is where it's good to do pre-tests, because I was like, all right, 800. I put a little bookmark of here's where to go catch the 800. But the 800 is one of these like dedicated airport shuttles, and it wasn't going to show up for like 40 minutes. It's just like a really uncommon bus. And really didn't, not at all casual either. It's a full-on airport shuttle. So I dicked around a bit more and found a different stop where I got on the 182 bus, and this seems to be my best bet. Because you catch it right by the Seogwipo McDonald's, so easy to get to. It's a little more, instead of the $1.50, it's a whole $2, and then I think it charged me 60 cents on the way out. Which I wasn't sure about that with the 201. I wasn't sure if it was ever charging me extra on the way out. It didn't seem to be. With all this traveling and stuff, I think I've spent less than $30 on bus rides so far, which is pretty good. Because I've been fucking all over the place, over and over, many times. But in the case of this bus, it goes pretty much straight north, just around the edge of Halasan Mountain, and it is basically like you're driving through jungle, and then that gives way to like fields with horses and stuff, and then finally you're into Jeju City. So it kind of makes sense that they charge a little more, because it's sort of whoever got on with me at the start, which weren't that many people, it's like, all right, we're the ones, like nobody's getting on midway. You only take this to go straight from Seogwipo to Jeju, I think, generally, and it's still a fine deal, not bad. And yeah, now that I'm here, I've got a little marker set on my Google Maps of where I can go to catch the 201 and just head back to the spot where I ended off, walking around the outside of the island. And yeah, this could be kind of cool, because I could just kind of get off at different places, or just like add slowly to my knowledge of Jeju, just inadvertently, just like what I did today. Like I was supposed to get off at City Hall, but it's like I'll just get off one earlier, take a little walk. I mean, it does just seem like pretty standard issue city. But yeah, I can just start picking away at it, because this does seem like this makes more sense than just going all the way around the loop, which is getting extremely painful. I might do that still on the way back though, we'll see, I don't know, because this does involve transfers and stuff. Oh, I thought that was a Denny's, and I was thinking like, oh, I've never seen a Denny's here. But no, it's Dennis, and it's golf store. Oh, I saw a place through the window called I Love Jesus Pizza. It's just like, well, that's in your fucking face. All right. I know there's a lot of Christianity in Korea. I know a lot of people love Jesus. Presumably there's a lot of fucking pizza stores too, pizza shops. I mean, this person has no time, no chill, no time to be subtle. We're not gonna bring you into the store and then, because that happened to me one time, my friend Manu in Vancouver, he took me to like a mom and pop Korean place, and that's the first time I had like the 10 like side dishes, tons of little side dishes. And when we got in there was a lot of Jesus imagery, because it was almost kind of like a, less of a restaurant, almost more like just going into some lady's house and she just made us a bunch of Korean food. This was way back in like 2006 or something. And I mentioned that to him. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And he's like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Korea is all about Jesus. Tons and tons. Missionaries did well around here. But yeah, that's the most in your face. I mean, there's a lot of the, you know, those glowing neon crosses in the sky everywhere. But yeah, I love Jesus Pizza. That kind of tickled me. But yeah, speaking of touchscreens at coffee shops, Adia Coffee has been my constant favorite thing, and it's such a heartbreaker that there's not one in Seogwipo. I made a little mark on my map of an Adia, but I literally just walked by one also. That wasn't the one I marked. So I'm gonna keep going, see if the one that I marked is also there. But there's at least 6 of them labeled, and I already walked by one that's not labeled, that's just there. So yeah, I mean, I like Seogwipo. I like how chill it is. Even just being here, just walking through Jeju City a bit, it's like, yeah, I don't think I would go out of my way to stay here. Like, this doesn't seem like the home base you'd necessarily always want to come back to, because it's just city stuff. You know, I don't know, why come to Jeju Island for city stuff? But you can't deny the convenience of just whatever particular kind of coffee your little heart desires. It's here, they got it. But I was gonna say, seeing that KFC there, I really wanted to come do this today because I took yesterday off, did laundry and stuff. It's like, I really do want to get back on the road tomorrow. Even if all I do is go back to that mountain, I really do want to get back on the road tomorrow. And my initial plan was like, yeah, maybe I should just take a day to go into Jeju City and just try that out. But that's when I realized I could do both. I could take the ride into Jeju and explore Jeju a little bit, and still, I should still have time to get on a bus and go back to where I was on my circumnavigation. And then even if I don't like get any farther, because I'm gonna go back to the mountain with the war caves and go up to the peak instead. So even if I just do that, that's fine. So it's like, oh yeah, I can do both. I can just take this other route now through Jeju City achieve all of my dreams, and now I'm realizing possibly go to a Dia coffee as well. Probably shouldn't just eat up more time in the day, but fuck it. But I wasn't sure I was gonna make it because, man, I mean, I was just, up all night. My sleep schedule's pretty fucked up these days. But then, even when I finally got all tucked in and went to bed, and it was like really late, like 5 a.m., and I just couldn't sleep, but it was in a weird way. It wasn't the normal feeling of like insomnia and not being able to sleep. And I realized about 45 minutes later what it was. It's like my body knew something was coming, that I had stomach troubles that I wasn't feeling yet, but somewhere deep in my body it knew. Because then I spent a significant amount of time in the washroom. I had some stomach ailments. My body clearly knew, like, you're not gonna sleep through this. Don't bother trying to go to sleep yet. You got something to do. It was basically 7 in the morning before I got to bed. Like, the sun was pretty much up. I think it was pretty much up. I just had the curtains drawn, but I was like, this is not good. How the fuck? Then I woke up a bit after noon. I don't know, I got about 5.5 hours of sleep, I guess. And I was like, shit, fuck, like, is this day just fucked? Even at the 7 in the morning, I was like, maybe though, can I pull this off? Like, just desperately hoping I could somehow make this happen, even though it seemed like today was just gonna be burned. But basically, as soon as I woke up, I just got up and got going. It's like, just don't think about it. Who cares anyway? It's so hot out that it like fries your brain. You just feel like you're in a weird swimmy dream anyway. So what do I care? And that's how it's been. I got up and it's like, technically I'm way under rested, way tired, but I'm just in the heat wave anyway. I got like a teeny little rest on the bus. It's just like I'm just disconnected. I can't tell. It's like, I'm just disconnected. I can't tell how I feel anyway. It's just too fucking hot out. So fuck it, here I am. All right, well, this is unfortunate. The Dia that I marked on the map does not seem to be here, but there was one I just passed, so fuck it, I'm just gonna go back there. Very limited stuff that I intend to try out today. I know how to get to the 201 from here. And I guess there's a Daiso between these two stops, so that's pretty cool. Just on my way from one bus line to the other, should I need a Daiso, there's one there. But I'm just gonna go to a Dia, get a coffee, then switch over to the 201. That's my only plan for Jeju today. I'm here, I did it. I know how to get here on a pretty good bus route that didn't take that long, about an hour and 20 minutes. The dentist, should I hear from them, is over on the other side of town, but it's really not that big of a city. And even just this is where I'm glad I got off the bus a stop early. Because if I had just got off at City Hall and went to where the Dia was supposed to be and it wasn't there, I'd be so bummed again. I'd be like, nah, really, again? But now I know where it is. I just gotta move my pin on the map a little bit, and that's my Jeju accomplishment for the day. I figured out where the coffee shop is. And maybe if I keep coming through this way, I can just little shit like this, just keep adding tiny little bits to my knowledge about this city without actually just spending a whole day dicking around in this city, just as I'm passing through. All right, I made it back to basically where I ended off, 5 bus stops before where I ended off, so I can go back up the Seoubong mountain, Seoubong, to the peak this time, and then back across the beach, and then theoretically continue on from there. But I think today is that's probably it, because it's already 5 o'clock. My new policy is bail out by 8 o'clock, just to make sure that I don't miss the last bus back. Although now that I've gone through that once, I'm a lot more confident if it happened again. I was I was just kind of lost. I was adrift. It's like, oh shit, is there another alternate bus I can take? Nope, okay, well let's try to walk to the next city center and maybe I can find some cabs. And of course, there is no such thing as a city center on Jeju. In the middle of the night, everything is just dead. Everything is empty. So realistically, what ended up happening, where I eventually just caught a stray cab at 4 a.m., I could have just done that from anywhere. It didn't matter where I was. I guess I should have just planted myself somewhere and just waited for a cab, and it would have taken some time. But now I'm at least aware, like, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter where you go, it's the middle of the night. You just gotta hope a cab goes by. That's your only chance. So if I do miss the last bus again, I think it'll be significantly less stressful, but it'll still cost like $30, so let's try to avoid that. So I think after I go up this peak, to be honest, even though this is what fucked me last time, is going to fucking Burger King. That's my plan. I'm just gonna go up over this mountain, go across the awesome beach, and I'm probably, time permitting, just gonna go to Burger King. Because I think I might just take the 201 back around the loop home, instead of trying to reverse engineer this plan back through Jeju City. Just because I am kind of wiped, and it's like, hey, whatever, dude, if I get on that bus early enough, it'll just take me home. But this is a good test, I think, being kind of wiped out. If I feel kind of good about this new route under these circumstances, then I guess it's just good. Because, I mean, who knows, I've only done it once, but one thing is that bus ride on the 182 straight between the cities definitely lacked the speed bumps. I didn't feel, I mean, I wasn't on my phone much, to be fair. I was just trying to catch a little nap, but I didn't feel the motion sickness that I feel on the other bus that goes around the coast. That seems to be like a much more tumultuous ride for whatever reason. And yeah, it could be like when I got that ride home with the cab and just the streets were so empty. I mean, that's probably why there's so many speed bumps, right? Is it is just like, I don't even have a license. I'm not a driver, and my fucking Fast and the Furious gland started salivating. I'm just like, oh God, look how great this is. So maybe that's why those empty, quiet, lonely streets at night need to have millions of speed bumps just to get people to fuck right off. Yeah, here we go. I'm at the, here's the little path up. This is where the other day I was yammering about how the Olle trail markers really help on some of these coastlines when they get complicated. And I was yammering about what if you walked around Lake Ontario near Toronto? What would that be like? And then, yeah, as I walked up here, I met some people by a map, and I took an unexpected side turn down to the caves. So today, I'm just gonna keep going up this path. But yeah, I don't think this route is really any quicker, though it was a nice little ride to Jeju City, but then having to go make a transfer and then wait for the 201, and then, you know, this still took a little while to get to where I'm going. I think if you add it all up together, it's not faster, but it just felt better. And I got to stop in Jeju City in the middle and go to fucking Adia Coffee and have a goddamn coffee. It was it was great. It was super great because, you know, I'm not sure how long that bus ride is. I think it's less than 90 minutes, but, you know, it's still pretty long. So I didn't drink any coffee this morning because I usually just make an instant coffee, which is also Adia brand. Conveniently, I'm an Adia man. But I usually would start the day with a coffee, and I was like, I'm not going to do that today because I just really want to make sure that I don't have to pee. It'll make this fucking bus ride very uncomfortable. Because caffeine does go right through me. So then getting to the other side, and it's super hot out, so going into the air-conditioned Adia, ordering through the fucking machine so I don't have to have any of the awkwardness of, how do I pay for stuff? Is my card going to work? Blah, blah, blah. Do they not take cash? All that shit. No worries there. I got their, whatever. It's like their most expensive iced latte. It's like a fucking, what is it called? It's like a toffee nut or something. Anyway, I got that with an extra shot of espresso. So not only the cold drink in the air-conditioned building, but then that double blast of caffeine when I haven't had any all day. Man, it felt good. And then I also sat down and did some writing, which with the lack of coffee shops I've been going to lately, that's really fallen off, my writing habit. Because I had these like, oh, maybe I'll sit on a rock by the shore and do some writing. That seemed like a possible plan when I first got here. But this time of year, with this kind of heat, no fucking way, dude. I admit it, I'm not a robust writer. It's not that hard to throw me off my game. There's no fucking way I could sit out here in this heat and actually use my brain, you know? Hiking is fine, walking is fine. Thinking about something, doing mental work, no fucking way. But yeah, sitting in the coffee shop, doing some writing, it felt so good. But I will have to try to, get going as early as possible in the day, because now I'm eating up an extra hour if I start going to the coffee shop every time. But I think I will. But yeah, it's funny that going to a coffee shop too, it's kind of the most extravagant thing that I do when I travel. Like, obviously paying for Airbnbs and accommodations. I mean, I try to keep it cheap, but that obviously does add up. And flights, But as far as just my day-to-day, man, it has really helped my budget not going to coffee shops. Instead, I just take a fucking $1.50 bus ride, and that's my entertainment for the day. Just grab something to eat somewhere. Spending $6 a day on lattes, that fucking adds up. But I'm back to that life. I'm doing it. Just think of all the money I saved in the last month or so on Jeju, not doing that every day. Now I'm making up for it. All right, so here's the sign where I met those people the other day. You are here. Towards the end of the Pacific War, the Japanese developed a special kamikaze-style bomb designed to be loaded on planes and torpedo boats in an effort to turn the tide in their favor. The bombs were deployed in 5 places on Jeju Island, including Seoubong Peak, Seowoobong Peak, Songgaksan Mountain, Samebong Peak, and Ilchabong Peak. At Seoubong Peak, the Japanese built 18 tunnel fortifications and 2 bunkers along the coastal cliff. The tunnel fortifications are about 340 meters long in total. The largest fortification, located halfway up the peak, is about 100 meters long. The remains of these facilities are a valuable heritage that shed light on the Japanese strategy to defend Jeju Island against the Allied forces. Yeah, I mean, as usual, my actual understanding of all of this stuff is quite limited. But it does appear on this map that, it says, you are here, go down here, and turn. There's even a little arrow. Turn around and come back. Yeah, so that's what I didn't do the other day. I did not turn around. I kept going. And I mean, you can keep going. But I was lucky I didn't fall off a cliff and die. Yeah, and there's a dotted line where I went. It's just called trail on this map when you translate. I thought it would say maybe impassable trail or don't go here trail, but yeah, it's just trail. But yeah, don't follow the trail. Though on the other hand, by following the trail, that's how I randomly bumped into Lewis with his drone, and we hung out for a bit. I got to see his drone in action, and we chatted about traveling. And it's the only time I ever saw somebody follow this podcast on Spotify in front of my very eyes. Whether he became a devoted listener, I fucking doubt it. But yeah, this feels good in general because I guess, with those coastal buses just getting longer and longer and longer. And even if I take it back today, it's still at least like a different loop now. I took a different route to get here than I'm taking back. Like to take the coastal bus there and back again, where the amount of time on the bus, these birds are fucking loud. Where the amount of time on the bus was if you combine both bus rides together, I might be spending more time, at least comparable time on the bus as I've been spending walking. It's getting pretty brutal. So this feels good. To have a different route that actually seems kind of more pleasant, to get to add in some exploration of Jeju City, to throw a coffee shop in the mix once again. I was surprised too how fast I just kind of slipped back in to just writing. It was no problem. I was afraid taking a break. Taking a break is a dangerous thing to do because that's how you abandon projects and never finish. But I guess I just really am a coffee shop guy. If I'm sitting at a coffee shop doing some writing, it feels great. Other circumstances just don't work for me. Sitting at home trying to write, sitting on a rock out in nature, it's just, coffee shops are just my thing. That's all there is to it. Usually it works out pretty well. In Seogwipo, it just doesn't. But for more details about that, see my other podcast, How to Write a Novel. Man, this is pretty. There's a little island out in the water. Like so little, there's one little building. Not even like a real building. I think it's just like sit under the shade, but it does have a lighthouse out there. I wonder how you get out there. I was watching, so this guy, Dan Does Korea. He doesn't live in Korea anymore, but he's a Canadian guy. Kind of interesting. He's from Tonga, the Isle of Tonga, but he's Canadian. And he lived in South Korea for about 12 years. And I found him because I was looking for videos about Jecheon. And there's not a lot. There was him, and there was some lady who was a English teacher that they sent there. And he only went to Jecheon once. He didn't live there. But yeah, he doesn't live in Korea anymore, but he did a series of videos all about different places in Korea. And he went to this one island that is fairly near Seoul, and it has a road that only exists during low tide. It's like, that's pretty cool. You gotta drive out there when the water's low, and then if you get stuck, you're fucking stuck. I don't remember the name of it. I feel like that's the kind of place I would probably never really go, but it's just cool. Yeah, I was dicking around on his channel, just seeing all the other stuff you could do in Korea. There's a bunch. But I do feel like the Busan Jeju 1-2 punch, pretty tough to top. Next time I come to Korea, again with these amazingly long visitor visas that Canadians get, I'm sure I will try some other stuff. But these places are the shit. He did a bit of this trail, in fact. They flew him in. The Jeju Tourism Council flew him in to do a couple of legs of this trail, but it's both parts he did are parts I haven't done yet. So I'll probably just watch the video, but I haven't yet because I'm like, oh shit, I didn't do those parts. But I'm sure I won't properly do them anyway. I'll just stay on the coast, so. Hopefully this helps you out, Jeju Tourism. Hopefully somebody finds these podcasts and thinks this sounds like a cool thing to do. Despite the fact that the Olle Trail itself is like not totally my jam. But in general it is. Yeah, as a general guideline, it totally is. But yeah, so far so good. Just walking up little paved path, nice and easy. Definitely going down to the caves is way cooler, but because it is functionally a dead end, this is the obvious route to take, and I'm sure it'll be a pretty view from the top. Oh yeah, look at this. Not only am I on like a paved road, but there's just noticed that there's lights in this. So theoretically you could walk up here at night. That's cool. They're prepared. I'm just walking by some sprinklers, some farm stuff, and I just glanced over and saw an old farm guy, a white-haired farm guy, just slumped against the side of his truck to be in the shade. It's like, yeah, you're not wrong, buddy. I only have one bottle of water and it's half drank already. It's getting to be so hot out, I think I should probably bring 2 bottles of water. Shit is getting pretty brutal. Oh yeah, also I saw some, just walked past some rusted out barbed wire that was only half there. And that's something I discovered the other day, is of the 2 waterfalls near my hotel in Seogwipo, there's the really cool one that empties straight into the ocean. And then there's the less cool one that you can just see from the nearby parks and stuff. Let me find the name. I suppose that wouldn't kill me. Just so my description of what I'm fucking talking about is very slightly less vague. 27 degrees Celsius. Pretty hot. And there's my little dot way at the top of the island. That is one thing I love so much about being outside of North America, is because I'm not a driving guy and I don't have licenses and stuff, but I really am trapped. it's very hard to go anywhere. If you want to travel to a different city in North America, it's got to be such a distinct trip. And then once you get there, you're probably just stuck in some city that also doesn't have very good access to anything much besides the city itself. It's so cool out here in Asia specifically, but also the bit I was in Europe, that you can just go places. Things are closer together, there's transit. It's so nice. You can just go have an adventure and it's no problem. So Cheonjeon Falls is what I was talking about, Cheonjeyeon. And that's the one where you can kind of walk up along to near the top of the waterfall. There's like just like a car overpass up there. And then you can keep following along that river and it'll take you through a nice park up to the sort of uptown area of Seogwipo. But the other day I was wandering around down there and I saw like, there is a little footpath that actually goes closer to the falls. And the sun was on its way down and it was a bit dark in the woods, but I was like, let me just try this. And it was a bit overgrown. There was a distinct path, but you can tell people don't go there very much. And I slipped on something and got dirt all over myself and scraped my elbow. But then as I got down there, I saw there was another dude there, an Asian guy, in flip-flops who, I stayed about 20 feet back from the edge of the waterfall, but I mean, still relatively close. Like I could see the people who paid their $2 down at the bottom looking up at it. This guy, hopping across rocks like he was in the goddamn Jungle Book, went right to the edge of the waterfall and was like walking along at the top. The people at the bottom must have been like, what the fuck? Why is there a guy up there? But that's as close as I wanted to get. Dangerous shit, but you can actually get to the top of the waterfall. You could do, apparently too, it's like a 20-foot basin. You could do a Lara Croft dive from up there. And I think you'd be okay. But that is not advice. Don't do that. If nothing else, I'm sure you'll be arrested and deported. I get the feeling they don't take well to tomfoolery in South Korea. But then on my way back away from there, I'm like, cool, well, I can't believe I actually did that. But let's get out of here. And then I tripped on my way back, even worse, and I realized I had tripped over some old barbed wire. Like that's how much they didn't want people to be at the top of the waterfall. But the barbed wire had been there so long that it was all rusted out and halfway stomped down. It was only up to my shins. Luckily, I didn't get any barbs in me, but with the dimness of the light in there, it tripped me good. I fell right on my fucking face. It sucked. But I thought that was kind of interesting just to note, because that was like what I was doing when I first got to Jeju. I was like, how do I get to the waterfall? And I was like exploring all around before I realized, wait a second, I'm at the top of the waterfall. I don't even want to get to the waterfall from this vantage point. This would be terrible. But I actually did pass right by the area where, if you're a fucking idiot, you actually can go to the top of the waterfall. It's an option, but I don't recommend that you do that. Because even if you just stay at a 20-foot distance like I did, there's barbed wire and shit there. They really don't want you there. So anyway, I did it, but don't do it. Wow, as I was walking along, I literally went, ooh. Yeah, I can see down below me, so I can see the beach. Every time I say below me, you know what I'm saying? Sounds weird. I can see down to the beach that I walked across last time that had the loud, thumpy music. And so this nice pastoral area that's right in front of me, this must have been, just out of my view, must have been where I met up with Lewis, and then we walked along there, and there was like a wedding going on, and like some ponies and stuff, and we walked down along there, da-da-da. Beautiful fucking view. Seowoobong Peak Panorama West. But yeah, one thing that's interesting about this mountain, I did make it to the actual peak, but the peak is not along the main, like there's a very clear main path to take because it has that like the carpet stuff that they lay out on fancy hiking paths. But anyway, yeah, the reason the peak is not part of the main route is the view's not as good. This view from the west, way better. The view back, it's a little bit, from the actual peak, it's a little underwhelming because there's trees around, so you can't see a panorama, you can only see one angle. But what was cool about it is you get a great view of all of those windmills that I walked by. If you just want to see all the windmills at once, which I kind of do, I was kind of into it. I made the windmills my little totem for some reason. I got a great fucking view of all the windmills, so that was cool. But yeah, the main path, it knows what it's talking about. Although overall, I mean, I guess do both, right? Go down and see the caves, but then circle around and come back. Don't push forward. But now this is kind of a double reason to double back, because then you double back and you can come up here and see this view, where if you do push forward like I accidentally did, not only is it very dangerous and definitely not something you should do, but the walk down there, you know, it's fine, but it's not as good as this view. So there's also, now that I'm looking at stuff from this vantage point, I guess it was getting dark pretty fast too when I got down to that beach the other day, but there is like a trail that like goes way out into the water with like a couple of bridges out onto little islands. That looks pretty rad. I wonder if you can just go out there or if it's a ticketed thing, but maybe I'll swing by and see when I get down there. Nice, so yeah, you can walk out to this little peninsula. Just a nice little place. You know, there's some souvenir stuff, and it's obviously mainly where you get set up to go jet skiing and like wakeboarding? Is that? I don't think so, because wakeboarding, I think, is when you're on like an actual board. Parasailing, I fucking remembered. Parasailing. Anyway, you come out here to do all that stuff. Oh man, and looking back, there's a perfect view of that's where I walked along the forbidden trail on that mountain that I wasn't supposed to walk on. And it's like, yikes, yeah, that's pretty steep, man. That was fucking not the smartest thing I ever did. And then there's the beach a little further on, the rocky beach. And it's just so creepy that hidden in there are all those caves. That's some scary shit. What was that sign? What did that mean, by the way? The kamikaze bombs that were set off on the mountains? I mean, I know about kamikaze pilots and stuff. What is a kamikaze bomb? Why would you need to kamikaze to set off a bomb? I have no idea what that means. Doesn't sound good though. Sounds scary as fuck. Hey, crabs. There's some crabs. Living a whole crab life. You don't know about the wakeboarders and the parasailers. Nor anything. Oh, and there's some very tiny, I don't even know if they count as islands, more like just little sandbars or reefs or something. But there's some people out on those too that I guess because the water just doesn't get deep enough yet, they just wade it out. That's cool though. God, swimming feels good right now. I am so sweaty. But I am not at all equipped for that. Oh yeah, so one thing I saw as I was coming out here, a guy was jogging. And I don't know what the Korean attitude is toward tattoos. I don't know if it's as severe as Japan, where they have big problems with tattoos and you can't go in various places if you have tattoos and yada yada. I assume it's probably somewhat similar in Korea because I haven't seen a lot of tattoos. But this guy jogged by who had a giant back tattoo, an Asian guy, and it was like a big crazy skull looking, you know, like your standard no fear fucking vape shop tattoo, but it looked fucking awesome. And it looked extra cool because he had really dark brown skin. So it was like just like a subtle, despite the fact that it took up his entire back, it still looked like a subtle tattoo in a weird way. And it's just cool as shit. It's fucking rad, man. That's the only thing I've seen even remotely like that. But whoever you are, fella, you're cool as hell. And it's kind of neat to have a tattoo in societies where it's still neat to have a tattoo, you know? Tattoos don't mean fucking shit in North America. So that guy was awesome. God, I'm just rambling. Anyway, sun's still in the air, but like, yeah, what time is it? It's only 6:30, but that's fine. I'm stopping. make sure I get out of here in time, and then continue on from this beach, because this beach is fucking rad. I'm having a hard time escaping this beach. Hamdeok Beach, I think it's called. Yeah, Hamdeok. Hey, and horses. You can take a little carriage ride. This place is just cool. But yeah, start from here next time, actually progress. I hope to see you then. Adios.